So we're recording, and so Rebecca and Karrie are both here along with some other folks, and people will be joining as we come in. I know there's a lot of people here who are new to doing Zoom events. So as I heard some talk while I was getting ready. So just a couple of quick things. The thing about Zoom is that only one person will be able to be heard at a time. So even though you can see your friends there, you don't want to be having side conversations with those people because you'll sort of steal the mic from whoever it is. And whoever, if you're looking at your computer now, you might see a little green light around the square that I'm speaking in, and that means that's the person who's being heard. So we'll unmute Rebecca and Karrie, obviously, during their portion when they start talking. And if you go up into the corner, depending on what device you're on, probably in the upper right corner or maybe in the a lower corner, there will be an icon for chat. If you're on a computer, I think it's on the bottom and there's a little speech bubble that says chat. If you're on an iPad or tablet, I think it's in the upper right where there's little dots, 3 little dots, and it says more and it says chat. So if you have questions while they're talking, you can submit your questions there and I'll just keep track of them here, and then they might answer them later down the line or maybe not. And in which case I will go ahead and ask those questions. So both of them have really interesting processes that they use, and they can address a little bit of that tonight, but on the 23rd, if you can mark your calendar, on Sunday, August 23rd, we'll have a brunch reception. We'll do this all over again during the day. And that will be all about process. You know, either a live demo or a slideshow or something about their individual processes. So if you have process questions, definitely keep them and bring them back on the 23rd of August for that, reception. So, and bring your brunchy food for that one. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and just start. I do want to mention the gallery is open during this. We'll be open just during those hours, and there'll be, Gail is there and she has the laptop down there running, so people might be at the gallery actually looking at your work, in addition to you know, listening to the Zoom reception. The other thing is that the online store is open all during this. So if you want to shop live while we're here, you're welcome to do that. We've got a couple of pieces that are, several pieces that are already marked sold. And this is the best time to buy them, is you know, while you're talking about them, and you can ask those great questions. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen sharing on this, my share screen. And I'm going to start with this is the piece that is in our alcove. If you know the gallery, this is in our front alcove when you walk in. It's one of the biggest pieces that we have there. So Karrie, if you want to talk about this one a little bit. I know there's a theme that kind of runs through all of yours, right? Oh, I'm going to unmute Karrie. Unmute, and I'll unmute Rebecca. Unmute Rebecca.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
There are a couple of things going on with my series. I've got 27 paintings of all sizes. Some are as small as 8 by 10. And I really started this a year ago. So the thing that unifies all the work are these intense saturated colors that run through all of it, using pink and orange and blue, and everything is quite abstract. But the other theme in most of it is I was thinking about my family in Alaska. So a lot of this is based on them, our shared experiences, their lives, their hobbies, their humor. And for example, Dance With Me. Now, you know, this could be, and I hate to name my pieces and explain them to people because I would rather have somebody walk up and find their own story. But I don't really want to sit here and be mute, so I'll tell you a little story. This is about my sister and her husband, and the night that she told Tom and I not to walk home on the bear trail. And we didn't, so we veered off into Kenai Joe's, and she found us there. And he said, "Oh, Kath, dance with me." And so they danced to a one-man band. So this is my sister and her fantastic husband, Tom. This is about my sister.
Lovely. I felt a sense of story when I was, as I was, when I was typing these up to put them online. I thought all these together, and I mentioned that to somebody earlier today. I said, I want to take all of your titles and make a story out of them.
Yeah.
They all just seem to come together. And yeah,
right.
this image does not do this justice. And this is actually a large piece, isn't it? This is,
yes.
This is the biggest one.
It is. I'll find. Okay. It's 32 by 24.
Yeah, this is a large piece, and this is not the glass pieces. This is,
this is
on canvas.
It's on canvas. It's acrylic with oil pastel, sumi ink, and charcoal. So, but the image doesn't do it justice. I would recommend, if you can, to come in and look at all of the work, because
it really
it's always better in person. Yeah.
Yeah, this piece is glowing. So somebody did put in the chat, I had mentioned that you can shop during this, and someone asked how you can shop. So if you have another screen or another device there next to you, you can just go to sidestreetarts.com, and the front page there is this show, and there'll be a button there that says gallery shop, feature gallery shop, I think, right underneath their names. And that will take you to just a page that is, you can just scroll the page and see the pieces as we talk about them. And there that you can see the size. I've indicated the size on all of the pieces for sale. And then so that alcove has this piece, which is large and glowing. And then the piece right underneath it is this one from Rebecca, her raku pieces. And this is a pretty good size piece too, isn't it? This is about a foot high and a foot in diameter. And it's got almost metallic finish on it.
Actually, it's really large for a raku piece, because you pull the raku pieces out of the hot kiln and put them in combustibles to mature. And this one was so big, it took 2 of us to pull it out of the kiln.
So you pull it while it's hot?
About almost
like
1900 degrees.
Wow.
And we had to have one person with tongs down into the top and one person with tongs under the bottom, and we pulled it out and lowered it down into the combustibles.
That's why it's number 3, to take you 3 times. I noticed a lot of your best pieces seem to be number 3. And I wonder if that's third time is the charm on these. This is exquisite. And the color, when you see these 2 together, the, Dance With Me and this one, the colors are just beautiful together. And I love the texture on this too. And it does look like it is like an axis that's spinning. And the thing about showing Rebecca is, I told her when she dropped them off that I wish we had little tiny spinning stands that they could be on, because, you photograph them one way, but they are, they change. I have one of her pieces here at home, and I move it, I change it a little bit. I'll move it a little quarter turn every couple of days, or depending what I've got in it or something. Let's see, any other questions on this? No. Oh yeah, Melody, thank you. Melody just put the link up for anyone who wants to shop. And here's another one. This is where start on Karrie's glass pieces, and she'll talk about this more. Talk about the process next month, but basically you want to give the elevator version.
Yeah, the elevator. Quickly, My nephews are married to women. They're both school teachers, but one of them, Jackie, has a peony farm uh, in the summer up there in Alaska. And Heidi, the other one, loves lilies. Of course, Lisa, her yard is beautiful. My sister has beautiful flowers. And with this piece, it is painted on glass. And we'll talk about the technique next time. In fact, I'll kind of show you through pictures. But with this piece, now everything that I'm showing you is very, very abstract. It doesn't look like a peony or a lily. But what I intended to do was have the open space, the negative space, be important as well. So that's what this piece is all about. It's called Garden.
Well, the peony, the minute you said peony, and that's the first I've heard about it, that paint, yeah, that's a peony.
Yeah.
It has the spirit of a peony for sure.
The spirit, yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And so they're on the reverse side of the glass. And
Yes.
we always have Karrie in the gallery, but not these big pieces. So that she paints on the reverse side of the glass, and that's some of the voodoo that we'll see later this month.
Mhm.
But they have this beautiful shine, but then the color is behind the glass. They're very mysterious looking, and it makes the colors pop. Really
Well, it saturates the colors, and I want to thank my friends in Hood River, Sandra and Chuck, who gave me their son's 1/4-inch glass pieces. I don't know, does Curtis know you gave them to me? But I've repurposed them. I've used them throughout this series. And I want to thank you for that, because what illuminates through that 1/4-inch thick glass is just astounding.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it.
Yeah, it sort of magnifies the color a little bit. And you
Yes.
can see on those 1/4-inch ones, you can see the depth of the glass. So it's
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
Let's see. Oh, there's the Who Let the Dog Out one. Yeah.
Who Let the Dog Out? This speaks for itself. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, these are landscapes. A lot of these are landscapes in my mind. You can see what you want to see in it, but I saw Who Let the Dog Out. Of course, all of these are framed, and a lot of times I actually put a canvas backing, a framed canvas to hold it in place. So they're very sturdy,
and there's much more subtlety to the color. It is hard, again, to get these whites and these pale colors. But there's a real subtlety to the color that you can only see when you're there. And thinking about doing it backwards just really blows me away. But yeah, they're all framed in black frames. So these little black lines that you've got here, it just picks that up. And then here's the pit fired. And I was talking to Rebecca earlier about the difference between pit fired and raku. And these are the ones that I do wish we could spin around to see the different sides on these. And the shapes are so pretty. And these are thrown pieces, right?
So these pieces are thrown. They're a white stoneware, and I throw them, and then I actually put the pieces in a pit, along with straw and wood shavings. And this one, you can see I had copper wire wound around.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the lines from the copper wire, and the copper wire was holding seaweed onto it. And so you're getting the blushes from the seaweed and the you know, where the fire just it you build a fire on top of these pieces, and then as it starts to go down into embers, they start to come out, and you can just see where the fire just kind of painted them.
Mhm.
Nice. So there's a randomness to it, but there's also your ability to predict and control. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that get thrown away, but less and less as you go along, you know, because you're able, I would imagine you're able to kind of predict what things are going to do and control it a little bit, but I love randomness too in my stuff. Yeah.
You can control it a little bit, not too much, and I do occasionally lose one when a log falls on it.
Mm.
As the fire starts to burn down, sometimes, yeah, there are casualties.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, I think we go back to Carrie's. So this is a common theme that you do, Karrie. A lot of these have this sort of the horizon, and then I'm gesturing like people can see what I'm doing. The horizon line on there, and then these little lines, these tiny lines that go down. It's almost like a the soil horizons, you know, those slices through the earth where you can see the different layers of the soil. They remind me a little of that, like there's roots or something going on in there.
I'll talk about the process at the next Zoom meeting, but or if somebody wants to come to the gallery, I use things like rubbing alcohol, Windex, sticks from my garden, all kinds of things to manipulate the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it takes weeks to finish one.
So I have a question in the chat, and this can just be sort of a quick yes and no, and maybe something you can address in detail. So when you're painting the color of the acrylic, are you layering it without picking up the previous color?
Yes and no.
Oh, so it's not a yes, it's a yes, or it's yes and no.
It depends. If I want to save the color, I will paint. Remember, I'm painting on the back of the glass. So the highlights go on first normally because that's what you see first.
Uh-huh.
And I build backwards, and the last layer is black. And that's what comes through the cracks and the lines. And then I manipulate all that. Let's see, the question was, how do I keep some of the color? Well, I'll paint it with some clear acrylic spray, which will hold it fast.
Okay.
And then I can go over it and the other color won't bleed through. I just have my own ways of doing these things, but to me, this looked like ice at the bottom, snow, and a landscape in the back. Not to get too wordy, but I often have things that connect other things. And to me, you'll see ladders in some of these. It's a way to, it's like a rescue or an attempt to keep people or that person connected to a lifeline, and you're not alone. And that's what my own personal meaning about these things that aren't just floating alone, they're connected to the earth. They're even connected to the earth.
I love that. Yeah, and that is a thing you do a lot, these little lines, little things floating out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you mean with the ladder. Well, here's one with the ladder. Yeah.
So the ladder emerges and connects up with something. Again, it's a landscape. It's an impression of Alaska with snow or land or whatever you want to see in it. It could be Eastern Oregon. It could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I could even talk about color theory, but I won't do that now. But to basically look at the color wheel and see what colors are opposite on the color wheel and how they, you know, can really put a punch in what you're painting.
With like this little bit of yellow down here, you know, like
Yeah.
you look at this and say, oh, it's purple and orange, which I happen to love both those. But yeah, these little bits of yellow and then the teal blues and these tiny bits of color. And so you're constantly flipping it back and forth, right, as you're doing it?
No, not, sometimes I don't look at all until I start putting black, and if I don't like it, I go wash it off with a hose.
I love it. Okay. Well, that's where the art versus the skill comes in, right? Is you just are.
You know, I used to do marble sculpture and with Joseph Conrad, who's a great marble sculptor, and I was so mad because I broke through a piece of marble, and he said, you know, it's only stone, just throw it in the garbage. You don't become attached to anything, and that's the way I feel. It's a thing. It's some paint, it's some glass, it's some canvas. If I don't like it, paint over it.
Yeah, no,
That's how I feel.
it's very immediate. The quality, the gestural sort of quality of the lines in that little ladder, and it all, you can really see the gesture in it, you know, of the lines. And here's one of the lighter pieces. So this is the natural clay, right? And it's a beautiful white. It's a very, very pretty color. This is pretty close. I think this is about what it is.
And so it's a very white clay body, but then I put a slip on top of it that's called terra sigillata. It's really thin. The Greeks used to use it. And it's very thin, and it just fills in all the little crevices, and then you burnish it, you rub it down, and you end up with a really satiny, beautiful surface. And then
this photo shows it. This photo shows the surface. It's, you know, it's matte, but not, you know, and burnished is, I think that's the only way you can get that finish is burnishing. Because otherwise, you know, when it's a gloss, it looks like a fake gloss that was applied to it, but it is a beautiful, like the way things look when they've been handled a lot, you know, like the way leather ages or something like that, that it's just got that, they look like they've been handled. And then this is the horsehair, right, where but I know you'll talk about that in detail. But the reason these are titled horsehair, and what could you put this on while it's hot when it comes out?
So these are also done in the raku kiln, and I heat them up to about 1100 degrees Fahrenheit, and I pull them out and immediately put on strands of horsehair. And when the horsehair hits the surface, it just, you know, squiggles up and does its own thing, and it burns away. And so what you're seeing here are the carbon trails that are left behind. And I try to paint with the smoke, so air currents are coming around the hot vessel and going up with the heat. And so if I can lay the horsehair on, then I can get smoke in different directions.
Is that what gives us this here, this you know, real fine line? Yeah, between, so I'm assuming the air direction's going upward like that.
Yes. And then to finish the compositions, I frequently, and this has it, I throw sugar on it. And when the sugar hits the hot surface, it makes these little dots, the black dots.
Wow. You use your whole kitchen. Like every artist, their kitchen ends up in the studio. Yeah. And this is a series. You've got 4 of these vessels. Yeah, and I think I have them right together here.
Then you can just run through them, but just notice that these appear to be matted. These appears to be matted. I will explain the process at the next Zoom meeting, but I
The
wanted
frame
to,
is actually on the outer edge of these, and then this is part of the glass that is the black or
it's
white.
all glass, and these are small, these are 8x10s, and I wanted to, I wanted to do something vessel because of Rebecca. I wanted to have 4 or 5 little vessels.
Yeah. Yeah, our
And
inventory has lots of vessels on
yeah.
it. Got to be careful. Yeah, I love, and again, the colors are just, this just doesn't do them justice. Yeah. And yeah, this is gorgeous. So this made me think about when I knew that yours were Alaska. And to me, this looks like the night sky, which I've never seen in Alaska, but I've seen in other places. I've been lucky enough to be able to see the Milky Way from a desert in Morocco, you know, and it's pitch dark. And this looks like the galaxy to me. It's just, it looks so deep, like I could go in there, you know?
And actually, that's what I've been trying for in a lot of these,
Yeah.
because I'm really fascinated with the photographs coming back from telescopes in outer space like Hubble or Kepler, and just, you know, it's so random and yet it's so serene and powerful, yet calm. And so that's what I have been trying to do with a lot of these pit fired pieces.
And I know you'll talk about it again at the next Zoom, but these subtle colors that you've gotten in here, I mean, this is like a meditation piece, you know, it just sort of, you can just go in there. And then again, you give it a quarter turn and it's a completely different, I don't know how you decided which side to photograph them on. It was hard for us putting them in the gallery, which way to put them. And I'm glad, you know, we've got them in the window, in our big front window. And if for those of you who haven't been to the gallery in a while, we've moved things around so that our feature is up front now. So we've got these pieces in the big front window. And then when you come in, you can immediately see the other side. So you can see all of them without having to pick them up over that marble floor, which is really scary to do. But you can see them from all sides in the window. And these are nice. These, the white ones and the up in smoke ones, they're about in the 7, 8, 9-inch high size. So they're a very, very doable size, you know, to sit in your room. They're not something that's going to take over a room like that first one, that Axis one, that commands a space. That's a major piece. But these are nice to kind of tuck in too. And I think, yeah, this is a sock drawer. I love this. Yeah.
And really the color on this isn't true to what it really is. It's sort of shocking. And I know we all feel this way, but I'm going to say I was cleaning my sock drawer and I was struggling with a painting all at the same time. And what I do for these collages sometimes, and I don't do very many of them, I photocopy my own paintings, tear them up, and then use those on a canvas. So this is really mixed media. There's sumi ink, there's a lot of oil pastel, acrylic. The acrylic goes on first, but then I started looking at it and I went, God, that looks like my sock drawer. So we've all been home for so long that we are finally cleaning those drawers out.
Yeah, or not. Yeah, but we're looking wherever we can for inspiration, right? Like if you
Yeah.
go out somewhere, there's beauty everywhere, you know. And if your sock drawer,
there's beauty in your sock drawer.
and that's, you know, if you can open your sock drawer every day and go, ooh, you know, good for you. And I like the way this one, you can just barely see on here. And I'll go in, Rebecca, next time I'm in on Sunday, I'll color correct some of these when I've got the paintings near them. But the way this isn't actually the edge of the painting.
No.
Yeah, like you can see it's over here and over here. So I love that, breaking that edge on there. Gives it a lot of,
Right, because it's pretty white around the edge, and I wanted to extend, you know, my sock drawer was, not that I never clean it, come on, I do, but I even found an old driver's license in there, clear in the back, and I thought, oh my gosh, where'd that come from? And a man's watch.
oh, ooh, now there's a story. Okay. And this is another one of the bigger ones, right? Is this
It's not real big, but this doesn't have anything to do with Alaska either, but we live in the inner city, and so sometimes they march by, and you know, by the way, our city is not falling apart, and you know, we're okay, but
can't burn down a stone courthouse.
oh, that, you know, we hear them coming, and but it really is liberty and justice for all, and the colors really aren't real true on this. It's much more saturated, but I again, there's a ladder, and we're you know, maybe hopefully we're all connected and going the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't get too political ever. I like humor better, but.
Okay, here's another one. These are the big pieces of Rebecca's. These are up in the window. Let's see how tall this is. This is Vortex. This is 16 inches high.
And so
These are hand built, right? The ones with these textures.
These are hand built. They're actually coil pots. And then I put the texture, I build them up out of coils of clay and put the texture on the outside. And then they're raku fired.
Mm.
And yeah, these colors are very, they're so, it's like a blush, you know, the way they're just so subtle on there, the colors.
And those are another one that I'm getting from the optical images from outer space. I started with a spiral galaxy, and just those blushes of color that you see in the images, and so that's where I started from with that. Just I wanted to show all the movement and the, you know, and the blushes of color and the things happening. So.
And we've got the one that's called Spiral of the Galaxy coming up at some point. But yeah, it's interesting to think of this texture in there. We don't think of texture in space, but there must be some, you know, textural element to that, or you really feel the movement in those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just love this one so much.
This is a what, a 12 by 12 maybe inch. My niece Lisa flies to very remote areas in Alaska for her work in very small planes, and sometimes I get some footage of her flying and looking around. This is an abstract called Out to Sea. If you're up above and looking down, you can see fishing vessels and all kinds of things sort of doing their work. And this is really Lisa's bird's eye view of the landscape. Again, to me, it's a landscape. You can see whatever you want to see in it.
The crackle in there, yeah.
Of course, I have to, you know, all those little lines and sort of cracks and crevices.
Mm-hmm.
I can explain that at the next Zoom, how I accidentally come up with that and try to. And then, of course, I got hooked on pink, so I had to do some pink in this.
It makes me think of the like the Shackleton voyages, you know, where they're ice break up going. And I know you've got one.
Yeah.
But this makes me think of the ships that are breaking through, or like there's something coming up underneath. There, yeah, that crackle is so organic, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Okay.
Another vessel.
Another one.
And here, yeah, you can really see. I like that line. It makes it feel very sketchbook. You know how you draw the square in your sketchbook? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these little vessels that I did are very much like drawing in a sketchbook. Mm-hmm. And, you know, do them fast. That's mine.
That's yours. This is the one that Karrie bought. And there is another side of this that has a lot of really beautiful blue on it that is just exquisite. And some of them look kind of geographic. I see sort of like rivers and continents in here. Again, you can just make what you want out of them. But there's all of both Karrie's and Rebecca's so organic. You can just tell they're all of the earth. Even acrylic, which is plastic. It feels like.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And this one is another horsehair vessel, but I was experimenting. When I do pit firing, people throw all kinds of things into the pit to see what will happen. And I was taking out the coffee grounds one morning, and I thought, wow, you know, this French roast, I have a French press, so I grind it pretty large, and I thought, what if I try this? So the next time I did horsehair, I laid out a bed of dried coffee grounds and horsehair, and I rolled the piece in the coffee grounds and the horsehair, and this is what I got.
Yeah. Yeah, come down to the gallery and look at this one, because all the sides of this are just, I'm so jealous that Karrie got it. I saw it and I was like, oh, that was the one I wanted. Yeah, that happens often. Yes, we all have good taste.
This is, and I'm sorry, my friend, our friend up in Alaska, Linda Robinson, not Robertson, if you sit on her deck in Homer and look out over Cook Inlet, and, you know, again, this is a landscape. In my mind, it's very abstract, but that's what I was thinking about. This was one of the first pieces I did late last summer, getting ready for this show, and after being up visiting with people. And so that's that. Mountain, or mountains. They're
like, oh, did I have my mistake on there? Was that,
no, it's mountain.
Okay. Yeah, if you catch anything wrong on here, please tell me so I can fix it on the website.
Again, there's the ladder, because that little thing is perched, you know. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, well, we need a ladder.
And there's something about the little triangles of your vessel that make them like little people. You know, they're kind of human to me.
Yeah.
I guess they're male. I don't know.
They are real.
Yeah. Oh, here's this blue that you were talking about with the coffee. Is this the wire here, these straight?
And this has the wire on it. The black line on the front is from the copper wire, and then the little white lines, that is from seaweed. So the seaweed leaves different lines and blushes. Mm-hmm. And the pinks and the blue on this one are from copper carbonate, and could be the
you can keep it secret if you want. I mean, it's your
no.
You're the one making a living on this. So if you want to keep it secret, you can.
And so I just throw all these things in and we see what we get.
It's beautiful. This very geographic on this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Slippery when wet. A lot of things are slippery when wet. I did this for my nephew, Tommy. That's all I'm going to say.
Just exquisite color, and I can see this sort of ice. I saw in the photos that it was originally called ice. The image, the title on the image was originally ice, and you can see this. It looks like an ice slick on there, like a river. You kind of see an ice river going down.
Yeah, exactly. And this again is a landscape in my mind, and that's what I was painting when I did it. Again, the bleeding of the blue into the white, that's a technique that I haven't seen anybody reverse painting on glass. Usually it's nothing like that. So I believe that's on a 1/4 inch thick piece of glass, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me find the size on this one.
Pinky is just pinky. It's very
pinky's pinky.
Now, but I do want to say something about this one real quickly. To photograph the glass paintings is very difficult because of the glare.
Mm-hmm.
And then next time I'll talk about there is a border around it. All of that should be white, but you cannot capture that on film.
I think I did. I think when I put them on the website in the store, I did warm them up a little bit, so it looked a little more white. But it's kind of that. Remember the thing with the dress with the blue?
Yeah.
That's the.
It's just
the dress was like that. Yeah.
It's just so hard. So this one again, if you see it in person, it's very the colors are much more intense. It's photographing stuff on glass that's very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It's almost impossible on glass. But yeah, there's a white. It's whiter than it is blue, and you can kind of see that edge there.
Oh yeah.
So I've got a bunch of chats up. This is the big spiral galaxy. Yeah, that one is gorgeous. And that one has a big diameter. Isn't that one real big? Is it spiral galaxy? 12 inches diameter and 7 inches high. So it's about twice as. Oh yes, people are also somebody asked why it was called French roast on the other one, and we answered that. And that, everyone's monitors are different. So, what looks right to me is going to look a little different to everybody else. But you want to talk about the Galaxy one?
So this is actually the style of piece that I started with, with the outer space theme. And so once again, it's a coil pot built up all the way to the top. But then just to kind of finish it off, I do put it on the wheel, and I do finish that lip on the wheel.
It looks like the black hole in the middle. When you look at this from above, you get the sort of sense of the spiral coming into a black hole.
So somebody has asked me, can you do a binary black hole?
Ooh.
So,
I don't even know what it is. We'd have to do some research on that one.
So we'll have to see what I can come up with.
Well, I don't even know if you know I'm here, but I'm going to have to leave right now. So I'm Marley.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Marley.
Hi. Oh, and I'm enjoying this so much.
We're recording it, so you can just come back to the website and watch the rest of it.
Great.
So because we're putting it all recorded.
All right. So it's so good to see these. I've seen some of Karrie's.
We're in the same art critique group together.
Yeah, but they're just beautiful.
Thank you, Marley.
Yeah, and your vessels are gorgeous too. I love the finishes you have on them. What's your first? It's Arthur, but
Rebecca is my first
Rebecca.
name.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see more of you. I'll leave for
Thank
now.
you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, you bet.
This
Thank
is
you.
another one that's canvas, right?
It is. This one, I'll just say it's canvas, acrylic with oil pastel, sumi ink, charcoal, pencil, blah de blah. And it's called Ill-Tempered Woman. And that's it. Ill-Tempered Woman. I like the title.
Is she related to the nasty woman?
She's not related to anyone I know.
Yeah, and you've got that same, you have these same, a lot of the same kind of iconography in there, and yet you're doing it the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the one with a story.
That's on a piece of glass, and there is a sign by a lake in Finland and it's a small sign, and all it says in English is, "Don't go alone to the hole in the ice."
Yeah.
And so I had to paint it.
Yeah.
So it's on a piece of glass, and
Sort of the Zen title, you know, like that you can apply that to your whole life, can't you?
You can. I mean, I just thought it was the funniest sign ever.
Mm-hmm. I love this stuff at the top up here. It almost gives you another little horizon up there. Like, what's really going? Like, is all this underwater? Or,
I know. Well, the painting itself, the body of the painting is only about 3/4 of the piece of glass, with more trailing down underneath the white. So to me, I thought the composition was interesting.
It is. Yeah, I like the sense of a little window almost.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it's a motto to live by.
Yes. Yes, it is. None of us should have to do that. So here's one of our, this is a big piece that's right in the front window. And we were just talking, she has some other ones that are white. There's just some horsehair ones too, but this is just really stunning. What's the size on this? You probably are going to know faster than I would. 14 by, it's 14 inches, the ceramic disc, and it's a little bit of a, it's got a little bit of a curve in it, doesn't it? It's not perfectly flat.
It's not perfectly flat. It's kind of a really low dish shape.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is pit fired, and you can see this is one where you said I have some control. This one I did have some control. It was so big that I was able to move the pieces of wood around and move things around on top of it. I actually stood over the pit and moved logs and things to kind of form which way this would go.
Oh. So you're actually almost painting with fire.
Painting with fire.
People do, yeah, yeah, exactly. And Linda Robertson's here too, and I do encaustic also. So yeah, we're painting with fire. That's what you're doing. And this one is both sides. It's very different on the other side, but it's very beautiful from both sides. And again, you really, if you were going for the galaxy, boy, you really caught it in here. This looks like the Hubble pictures. And the detail and the depth that these have, even though they're flat, they have such a sense of depth in there. You can just see they're amazing.
Thanks.
And there are some of these on exhibition also, you said in Medford?
In Medford at Rogue Gallery, yes.
Yeah, let's see. This is the Hello, My Friend. I like this piece too.
You know, I was thinking of, again, it's a painting on glass, and there is a false matte. It looks like it's matted and then framed, but I'll talk about that next time. glaciers are receding everywhere in the world. And so I should have titled this Goodbye, My Dear Friend, because they're disappearing. You know, when we go to see them, drive by them in Alaska, they're set way back. So,
and those hot colors that you've got in there with it too are, it's sort of the fire and ice. I think about like Iceland, you know, with the
yeah.
fire and ice that happens there. So we did have a question back to this one, that how well fitted that is in the stand. So do you have your stands custom made once you have that size, or you have control over what you're making?
I do. I have someone make them, and I make my piece first, and then I do a tracing of it. And so they have a template to go by.
And the one in the gallery, the little mount at the bottom on this that looks like a little fish, that's not the exact stand. This stand is not the one in the gallery. And we've got some photos in the gallery where it's just like 3 parallel lines, I think, the stand that's in the gallery. So if you're buying it for the stand, you're not going to get that stand. But it's the same basic idea. It's just a different little piece on the vertical. So that can that slip out? It must be able to, because you've made it first and you can't bend that around it, but you wouldn't suggest slipping that in.
You can get them out, but it's a pretty tight fit.
Better you than we try to do that.
I haven't broken one yet.
Yeah. More of the up in smoke, pit fired.
Oh, and one thing I would like to say about my work is I do all low fire techniques, so they are not dishwasher safe, they're not food safe, because they haven't been fired to a high enough temperature, and they are not watertight.
Right.
So you can do dried arrangements in them, or what I sometimes do is take a plastic water bottle, put that down inside of them and cut it off at the right height. I know Michelle knows.
That's what I do too. Yeah, the opening of mine is exactly the size of a 1 liter drink bottle. So I used a hot knife to cut the drink bottle off and fuse it at the end. Yeah, it just fits perfectly in there. Yeah, or a dried arrangement is nice in there too. But they're beautiful with flowers, because that color, I put my red crocosmia, I have the dark one like this, and I put the red crocosmia in there, and it's really pretty. Oh, this one I love too. You've got 2 that are similar like this. And
Yeah,
now I understand it with the connection of that ladder, the connections. Yeah.
I won't say a lot about this, but some of them I wanted some of the pieces to be more of a resting place. That some of the paintings are so intense and color-wise that I did 3 or 4 that are more peaceful, even though Saving the Crew is kind of a, you know, a tough title. But anyway, so you can see the ladder and everything's going to be okay. And the water below.
Yeah, and knowing now, I mean, I liked the ladders in yours, and knowing now that you put those lines and ladders specifically as thinking about a connection to the earth. And that's those pieces.
And the other one, coming and going. Our aunts were up there, and we said, well, let's go to lunch. And we drove for about a half an hour before one of them said, boy, you guys sure drive a long way to go to lunch.
Yeah, anybody who lives in a rural area knows about that. Everything's either 5 minutes or 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's no in between. You either walk to it or you drive for a couple hours. I do like this though. It's very, sort of like a little friend coming to visit. I sort of see the ladder. As
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Another horse here.
Another horse here.
Again, everyone is a little bit different, and yeah, do try to come in if you can to look at them. The morning frost, I think that's really pretty too. You love this orange and blue. That's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, my intention was to do a lot of that color combination. Again, it really pops. And the technique down below is, using rubbing alcohol on the paint. Somebody asked me if I ever paint on plexiglass. A lot of galleries don't want glass. So plexiglass doesn't work like real glass.
You're not going to get the sparkle. Yeah.
No, well, everything sticks to it. I want fluid, and I can't move any paint around on plexiglass.
And it really doesn't. I don't think it's I wouldn't think it would sharpen the paint the way these do.
No.
They look almost sharper for being
Yes.
under the glass.
Yeah. I hear some protesters out there. Oh, another one. It's almost like, incoming sea or something.
Just
Yeah.
beautiful.
So thank you. I mean, I think it's kind of fun to see them all together when they're each one is different. And I had fun with the technique, having the as if you were sitting here with me, I'm pointing at it. At the bottom, it looks drippy, and that's part of the technique of using. I couldn't find rubbing alcohol. I finally had to go to the pharmacy today. And
That's right, you can't get it now. Yeah, it's in short supply now, isn't it?
Yeah, I said, and he went back. He says, "Can I sell this?" And the pharmacist said, "Yes." Everybody's using it, I guess, but I splash it on paintings, so.
That's funny. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
We're getting toward the end here. I think another horsehair. I like these little tiny squiggles in here. And we have the horsehair, and we've got Amy Rudinger's pieces in the gallery with the horsehair sticking out of them. And then your horsehair here.
And I also use other things, the smaller lines. Those were sheep's wool. So sometimes I use horsehair, but I've also used sheep's wool and anything I can find except human hair. Human hair smells terrible.
I was going to say, does this whole thing smell? Is it human hair that smells worse? The other hairs don't smell as bad?
I think human hair smells the worst.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. I had a good friend who, when she was pregnant the whole time, she had like a hallucination of smell. It was like she could smell burning hair the whole time she was pregnant. It was one of those weird things. It's like, what a smell to get stuck with. Yeah. And then she's like, everywhere she goes, she's like, I smell burning hair. Yeah, it is a terrible smell. I was going to ask about that. If horsehair, I would think it would be worse. But I'm glad.
Goat hair is pretty bad.
Goat hair?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. It's all in personality. This isn't.
Is this one of the last ones?
We're getting toward the end, yeah.
All I want to say about this is another one where I wanted some calm, not the super crazy saturated colors, but following the theme of abstract landscape. And as far as I know, no one that I know is giving birth, but that's what it reminded me of.
And it can be birth of anything. I mean, this looks almost like it could be stars, or it could be plants.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And this is on canvas. It's not a real big painting, and it's very soft. And,
yeah, I can see the texture in there. It's much softer looking.
Yeah.
And they all go together, though. The canvas and the glass,
right.
They all really work together. And break up. Yeah, when I was doing these without seeing, I was typing up the cards without seeing the pictures. I thought, break up. And it's like, oh, of course, the ice breakup.
Yeah, I think there's still a lottery up there where people guess when the spring breakup is. And I think it's an actual river up not too far from Lisa's going to say yes, up by Fairbanks, and they put a tripod out in the middle of the frozen river. And when the tripod crashes, that means it's breakup. And whoever guessed the date, time to the minute, they win. I don't know. I think something. So this
It's
is
not a lot to do up there.
in the winter. Well, maybe you'd be surprised.
There's a lot to do. I know. I used to watch that show about life above zero or life below zero, and I mean, people are freaking busy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's always work to be done. I like those cool colors on that. That's really nice. The last of the big ones, Cosmic Dust.
Last of the big ones.
Last of the big ones. That's 13 inches high. But they're very, when I read, oh, it's only 13 inches high, like it seems, you know, when you see it, it seems more imposing. I was surprised to see the height written down because it seems more imposing than that. Takes up a lot of psychological space, you know, it's like, it puts itself forward. And this is the last one. No, there's one more because it's the one that I love.
Okay, it's just going back. I had 2 bouquets. I'm putting quotes around that. Again, back to the flowers. And I call it black and blue because it's black and blue. Oh, and pink, by the way. And this is the big one.
I want this one. I want this one. Yeah.
Go Fly Kite. You know, it's not really that green. Again, it's really hard to photograph these. It's one you'd want to see in person, I think.
It's more, is that an Indian yellow? Is that what that color is in there?
Yeah, I mixed my own yellow and orange, and it's the light blue at the bottom that isn't real true. I'd like you to see it in person if it's possible.
Yeah,
but
I'll check these on Sunday. This is not nearly that blue. The yellow really pops out on this. I remember seeing this on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the end. Yep, that is the end.
We did it.
We did it in just about an hour. So thank you. I love the narratives behind these and the connection between the skies and the galaxies and the stories. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about. I can unmute folks, or you can unmute yourselves also if people have live questions. I've done all the chat questions. I think I can unmute everyone. Not from there, I have to do it from here where I'm the host. Or I think people can unmute themselves as well. I'm gonna go ahead and close the keynote on here. Here we are.
I was sorry
I'll
to
unmute everyone.
that was
Oh, hey, Davis.
beautiful. Beautiful. Loved what I did manage to see, and I posted a chat of amazed at the correspondence between the 2 artists. Very different medium, but there was a beautiful kind of linkage again that really you couldn't have predicted. I don't know, but both the kind of almost kind of Paul Klee quality of a lot of the linear work in both paintings.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yes. Yeah.
light, lyrical quality, which is not what you would expect when you're talking about massive landscapes in interstellar space. Really very. I love the modesty of the pieces and their grandeur. You know, that they both of you have that amazing range. You know, the scale of your glass pieces, Karrie, is really really modest, but they're vast, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the Rebecca's horsehair and other pieces they're really, to me, kind of Asian in their wabi understated quality. And both of you have this comfort apparent in the work with chance, like that things that happen, that you're not, imposing control on, get just flow. There's a flow there back and forth. It's really beautiful. Great pairing.
Well, it happened again, just like with you and Minnow. Davis was our one of the pair of artists last month. He did those beautiful lithographs of the trees, and I think it just happens each time. The art gods just looked at, because I know Karrie couldn't, or Rebecca had to do these over the winter. So we booked this show a long time ago because she can't do the pit firing in the summer.
Ah.
So somehow the cosmic the spirit is going back and forth between them, just like I think it did with you too.
Yeah.
That it just works,
Yeah,
thank
you. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else on here?
Hi, this is Dawn. I want to say, Karrie and Rebecca, the show is absolutely beautiful, and it looks gorgeous in the gallery. When you walk in, it's airy and very uplifting, and I'm very, very proud of the way that it all came together. You guys did a beautiful job, and we're very, very happy to have the show.
And it was Dawn's vision. I think it was your vision, Dawn, wasn't it? Those white on white, those white pieces.
Yeah.
Having those white pieces in front of the white walls, it shows off what a beautiful color they are, that they're not just white. They're that lovely kind of eggshell, and it highlights the, and because Dawn does ceramics also, so that's why she knew. So it takes one to love one. And showing them in front of the white and those fine lines, just pick up the lines from Karrie's work perfectly. They're absolutely perfect together. Yeah, it is very uplifting when you come in. The colors are vibrant. It's funny because we loved the beautiful black and white in, we had a real colorful show before, and then Davis and Minnow came in with their deep somber colors. It's like, oh, it's all new. And then every time it changes, like, oh, it's all new and fresh looking. It's good to see some bright colors in there again. But not that yours weren't gorgeous too, those black and whites. And we still have some of Davis's etchings, lithographs in the gallery too. They're always around. So thank you so much for this nice little taste. And then please join us on the 23rd, put it on your calendars, and we will also send out some reminders when that's coming up. And I've seen a little bit of what Karrie has planned. And if you two want to talk to each other about how you're planning to show your process, because some of it you can do live and some of it it's best to show little pictures of what you're doing. Some things just don't work live. I don't expect Rebecca to have a fire out in her backyard for us. No. Please don't do that. But yeah, it is really interesting, and to learn a little more and share as much as you want to. We don't want you to have to give away all your secrets, but thanks so much for a great
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to the openings again. This is all recorded. Again, it'll be as soon as I get the link from Zoom. I will put it up on the website so that folks can see the beginning and the ending and whatever they've missed.
Is that Paulette?
Oh. Where is she?
Let's see.
I think Paulette. No.
Participants. I've got the list of participants. I'm not sure that I can print it out. I don't see that name on here though.
I thought I saw Paulette flash up there. Anyway, okay.
See you soon, everybody. Hope to see you in the gallery too.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Oops. No touch screen. End.